Hello, my name is Brian Campbell. I am an author from Goffstown, New Hampshire. I created this video as a replacement for the Celebration of Creative Arts, which was a festival I was hosting scheduled for June 20 of 2020 in Merrimack, New Hampshire. The location we had planned was Wasserman Park at the Function Hall in Merrimack, and of course, for the safety of all of our artists and for the safety of our host, Merrimack, New Hampshire, we had to cancel that event. The purpose of this video was to introduce myself and showcase three authors that were scheduled to be at the event this year. They'll introduce themselves. You'll get to see some samples of their work and learn how to get more of what they do. I'll start by introducing myself. I am a crime mystery author. I live in Goffstown, New Hampshire. I have written two books in a series. The first one, part one, is called The Third King, Coronation. It's available on Amazon. You could order it. You can have it special ordered at any bookstore in New England. You can also find it on my website, redcliffpress.wordpress.com. That's how you find me. My second book, part two of the series, Guardian Angel, True Calling, was just released last year. Also available on Amazon. Again, special ordered at any bookstore. You can get it at the library as well. I just finished. This is a sneak preview of a novella, which is just a short novel. It's about 100 written pages, maybe 20,000 words or so, called Denying the Stylus. This, you can see this is a proof copy. This is not released yet. The plan is to have it released probably sometime in August of this year. And it's a sci-fi novella, which is something I've never done before. So I'm really proud of it, and I hope to get it out there, like I said, by the end of the summer. And I hope that you'll look at it and enjoy it. So without further ado, please watch these videos, get to know some of our authors. We had a fantastic show scheduled for June 20 in Merrimack this year at the Celebration of Creative Arts. We had live music lined up. We had artists. We had a photographer. We had a fashion designer. Of course, we had authors. And it was a real shame to have to cancel, but I think it was the right decision. Look for us next summer. We will either be in Merrimack. I've looked at some locations in Henniker, New Hampshire. I looked at Peterborough, New Hampshire. There's plenty of places where we can do this. It's completely free. We won't have any door charges for anyone. It's free to the public, open for anyone to come. None of our vendors had to pay table fees. It's a completely free show. Every artist was from the New England area, mostly New Hampshire, but we had some people from Massachusetts and Maine as well, which was fantastic. I'd like to open it up to anyone in New England and do it again next year. So without further ado, here are three of those authors. Please check them out, and please consider supporting local authors, artists, and musicians.
Well, hi there. What's your name? Hi, Rachel. My name's Sarah. How are you? Are you having fun at the fair today? Yeah, lots of good stuff. How old are you? Are you 5? Are you 6? That's awesome. Would you like to hear a story? You pick one. This one? Layla's Goal? All right, I'm going to come around and read it to you. Okay, Rachel. Layla's Goal. Layla wakes up with a start. What was that? She wonders. Layla notices her clothes are wet. This isn't dew. She sniffs the dampness. Yuck! This is poison. Layla is angry. Why do humans insist on spraying this stuff everywhere? Layla has heard from her fairy friends that humans use this poison to control weeds and pests. Layla does not understand this. All life is good. There is no such thing as weeds or pests, she mutters. Layla has been a good, kind fairy her whole life. But now the humans have poisoned her home and she is angry. She and some of her fairy neighbors meet to talk about this. Some of her neighbors think that they should talk to the humans and teach them about what they're doing. Others think it is time for action. They want to get back at the humans for destroying their environment. Layla is quiet for most of the meeting. She's listening carefully to everything everyone has to say. At the end of the meeting, Layla speaks up. I've been listening carefully this whole time. I understand both sides. It hurts me to say this, but I don't think trying to teach the humans is working. Too many of them don't realize we exist. Layla takes a deep breath. So, I think it's time for action. We need to do something significant to get their attention. The question is, what should the fairies do to get the humans' attention? What do you think, Rachel? What should they do? Make a lot of noise? Yeah, it's worth a shot. The group ponders this for a while and finally decides to show humans the consequences of poisoning the environment. What about you, Rachel? Do you have consequences? Yeah, sometimes you have to go to your room. That's a good consequence. They make it hard for crops to grow, and water makes people sick. Finally, people start to understand. We need to take better care of the environment. Using poison to kill unwanted plants or bugs and keep animals away is not a good idea. Over time, Layla sees the humans being kinder to her home. The poison takes a long time to finally disappear, but she's happy no more is being added. Now, Layla can sleep under the leaves and blades of grass without fear of being harmed. The end. Did you like it? Yeah, it was a good story. Well, I'm going to give you this for your parents in case they would like to find any more of my books for you to read at home. And I hope you have an awesome time at the fair today. Thanks for visiting.
Are you or someone you know a woman who wants it all? You want to, 1, have a great, happy, healthy, and long life. 2, you want to have a wonderful career that you're very, very proud of and enjoy. And 3, you want to have a happy marriage and you want to bring up a happy family. Well, that was me. Those were my 3 goals in life. That's why I've written this book called Hat Trick. For those of you who aren't a sports fan like I am, a hat trick is when a player in the same game scores 3 goals. And it's a pretty hard thing to do. So for me, scoring my hat trick of these 3 goals was the hat trick in the game of life. I knew when I left for Wellesley College that I was going to need help. The goal of having a happy marriage and bringing up a happy family was a goal that I felt I had good role models for. My mother and my father and my family were good role models. But for taking care of yourself and having a long and happy life, I definitely didn't have role models. My mother, my father, and my only sister, none of them took care of themselves, and all of them died before the age of 65. And I knew I didn't want to go down that road. And as far as a career, I was the first person in my family to go to college. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and even though my sister and my father had jobs, they never thought of them as careers. So when I went to Wellesley College, I did know that I was going to need help. So for the next 4 decades, as I got to a different stage in my life where I had to address a different problem, I would research it, as that's the person I am, whether it was from a magazine or a TV show or the internet or reading a book or talking to someone who had gone through it before. And if it worked, I would document it. And so I went through this for all these different stages in my life. And when I retired back in 2010, I sat back and I said, wow, I scored my hat trick. I'm very healthy and happy. I had a great career, great career in technology management as a technology director in a male-dominated field for 4 decades. And I have a happy marriage and 2 sons who have grown up to be wonderful young men whom I'm very proud of. So at that time, I had all this documentation, and I thought, do I just throw it away? I don't have a daughter, so what should I do with it? And it was my sons who said, you can't throw that away. There's valuable information in there that other women could benefit from. You know, you're very organized, as they know me. Why don't you type it up and have it available to women who might need it? So that's what I did. And in Hat Trick, the paperback and the ebook are available on Amazon. And this hardcover with the dust jacket signed is available on my website at valerieroman.com. And the topics that are handled in this book are one for the Take Care of Yourself goal. It's weight watching, getting and staying fit, energy boosts, looking good, health and wellness, improve your memory, and the hunt for happiness, which is my personal favorite. For the goal 2 of the career, having a great career, the chapters are women in the workplace, skills for success, handling stress, saving time, and organizing the office. And for the raising a happy family, 3rd goal, the chapters are marriage and relationships, organizing the home, parenting pointers, the cooking conundrum, cleaning tips, and conquering the clutter. Those are the topics that as I went through life, I felt I needed research and to do help on. And I think a lot of women are in the same situation, that they are in that, need help on those. The other message that's in this book also is that the game that women tend to play best is the game of perfection. And that is not a good game to play. So part of the theme of the book is to not compare yourself to others, not think you have to be perfect, but to be yourself and have fun and enjoying the journey as you score your 3 goals in life. I hope you score your hat trick in your own life, and I hope you enjoy the book. Thanks.
Welcome.
Thank
Marie
you.
LeClaire. How did you decide you were going to write books? What's your journey?
Yes. Well, I didn't actually decide to write books. For lack of a better description, and it sounds really kind of hokey when I say it out loud, but I had this book that just started writing itself in my head. And I just started writing it down, and I would send it out literally like a couple chapters at a time. I wasn't even calling them chapters. I just send a couple pages at a time to a couple of friends of mine and say, hey, I like this. How do you like that? And they're like, this is great.
It's about Mary Beth?
It's about Mary Beth, who is a jaded, recently divorced antique boutique store dealer. So she goes around and collects things at yard sales, and then either just dusts them off and puts them in her store, or she upscales them in some way. She upcycles his friend. And so she has this little antique boutique. For this, my audience is everybody.
Everybody, okay.
Takes place in real time, realism, but it just has a little bit of the unusual, a little bit of the supernatural or unexpected.
Yeah.
And so that would be true for all of the books.
Yeah. And does it kind of tie into the second book? And let's talk about the second book.
Yes, the second book is A Soldier's Last Mission. And it has the same format. And so in the last yard sale, the story starts out at a yard sale, at a peculiar yard sale.
Yeah, that's right.
Where a woman picks up these items that from an elderly lady who's selling them. And then the items go on to inform her and change her life and move her forward. And so the Soldier's Last Mission is another yard sale.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so same woman, Mary Beth, a year later, she sees the exact same yard sale sign.
And says, what?
That's exactly what she says. And she says, well,
didn't I just go through this?
I don't have to stop. And she goes right by it. And then it shows up at the next corner.
Yeah.
And she says, I don't have to stop. And she goes right by it. And so she finally gives in and goes down and stops. And she finds that the yard sale is hosted by a young fallen Vietnam soldier.
So you travel. Where have you traveled, and has that travel helped your camping book?
You know, I've traveled a lot. I'm one of those, I got the travel bug early. I left, born and raised in Worcester. And
welcome home.
Thank you so much. I left Worcester when I was 18 and joined the Air Force. And I've really kind of had the travel bug ever since. And so, you know, I've lived in a lot of places, even in New England. I've lived in Arizona, New Mexico, Florida, North Carolina. Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia, Virginia Beach. And so, you know, and I've traveled for work a lot. So, like my third book, the 1,000 Buddhas. But who's counting?
That's right. Who's counting?
Who is counting?
I don't know. Who's counting?
It turns out there's a monk in a cave in the Himalayas who's counting. So I wrote that because I was traveling for work in Montana and came across the Garden of 1,000 Buddhas in Montana, and the story just started writing itself in my head.
Wow. It says the most.
The story is about reluctant heroes always. Who are charged with finding the Buddhas and keeping them safe.
So it's about each person's journey as they go to find
this
Buddha that they don't even know they need to have.
That's right.
It's kind of like that. Yeah. So then you bump into somebody and all of a sudden it's like you're on a quest and you're like, what?
That is exactly
I don't think so. No, you're on a quest.
You are.
Yeah, you are. There you go.